Hey guys, welcome to another Why You Should by Adam Lash. I'm out here in the middle of the night, decided to go for a jog. So here we are. Oh man, I've been reading the news and it doesn't look good regarding ransomware. So today I want to talk to you guys about ransomware. And for those who don't know what ransomware is, think of ransomware as some sort of malicious program that accesses a system or network or any kind of server, and it encrypts those files and holds these files hostage so that the owner of these files are then demanded to pay a ransom. And they can demand large sums of money. They can demand millions of dollars. Extortion. All right, so here's my number one cybersecurity tip. Don't open email attachments. That's number one. Malware mostly spreads through attachments. A lot of people, they may not, look, it's not just about being naive, guys. A lot of people, even with PhDs, fall for that. They receive an email, the email looks legit, they open the email, they see an attachment, maybe a PDF file, a Word file, a zip file. I found out about this third-party app that can do this trick. Use some sort of program, a third-party app that can scan your wireless network, usually your router, for any kind of security vulnerabilities. Now I'm going to talk about this. There's an app called Fing, and it's incredible. It tells you all the devices that are connected to your network, including any spy cams or any unauthorized devices that are connected. And the most important thing is you got to patch up any open ports in your network. An open port is usually not a good idea. Now, open ports sometimes may be necessary for the internet to function properly, but most of them are not needed. If you're not using that open port, you need to close it immediately. So a third-party app like Fing can do this trick for you. Close any open ports on your network, perform a full security scan on your network. Let these third-party apps do their job. They will scan the network and they'll tell you if you have any kind of vulnerabilities in the network. For example, if you have port forwarding available on your Wi-Fi router, usually the security program is going to tell you port forwarding is turned on, so turn it off. That's also good security practice. I'm going to be talking about all these technical things like ports, port forwarding, port scanning, sniffing, and all these things that are important for you to understand when it comes to cybersecurity. I'm not a cybersecurity expert by any means. I just do a little bit of research and I try to understand what's going on so that I can protect myself, I can protect my network from any kind of attacks. So scan your port, close any open ports, perform these third-party scans on your network. If you have any port forwarding, for example, turn it off. All these kind of things can help beef up your security so that you make it much more difficult for these bad guys to take advantage of you and to cause all these problems. So if you're one of these guys that are downloading pirated software, you gotta stop that stuff. Don't use pirated software. That thing might be infected with malware. And of course, it's illegal. If you've got an antivirus program or anti-malware program, one good program that I recommend, that was actually recommended to me by Apple itself, Apple employees recommended that, is Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes is an excellent program that I use every now and then. I don't have to keep it on all the time, but it's a very good program recommended by Apple. I install it every now and then to conduct security checks and make sure that my systems are malware free. You got to make sure you have the latest updates, whether it's Windows, Mac, Android, iOS. All these platforms keep releasing security patches, and you have to make sure it's an absolute must that you install the latest security updates for these platforms. For example, when Microsoft got hacked recently with the Exchange servers. They released emergency patches. Now, for these companies that were unaware of this or were too lazy to update or patch up their systems with Microsoft patches, they got hacked. Thousands of computers got hacked, networks, because they did not patch up their systems fast enough. And the bad guys are taking advantage of this. Older vulnerabilities, or maybe even before the companies try to patch them up. So always try to update your computer, get the latest security patches, whether it's Windows, whether it's Mac, Android, or iOS. Don't forget to use strong passwords, use 2FA, scan your networks, patch up all these ports, open ports, or any other vulnerabilities. Don't open any kind of attachments from unknown senders without verifying who these people are. Don't open any attachments from WhatsApp or any other texting platform if you don't know who the sender is. Follow these good security habits, and hopefully you will not be affected by this. Now, the problem is, guys, despite all the methods that I said right now, there's still a possibility that anybody can get hacked due to the nature of the internet. That's the nature of the internet. Even if you have a super secure network, you can still get hacked, unfortunately. There is no system or network that is 100% secure. But the good news is, if you practice good cybersecurity habits, if you always make sure that you are secure, by following the tips, for example, that I suggested, then the chances of your network, your company, your computer, your personal computer getting infected, the chances of all these things decrease. So you decrease the threat vectors. That's what happens if you follow these good habits. I can't really speculate on what's going to happen in the near future. And I don't want to sound pessimistic, and I don't want to say that our future is bleak. The good guys will never stop fighting for us, but they are getting tired. Companies as large as Microsoft are getting hacked, and that can't be good. We're going to have to continue the fight. We're going to have to continue employing these good cybersecurity habits. Whether you are just an individual with personal cybersecurity concerns, or even a company, do not underestimate any of the things I mentioned right now. If you've been following the tech news, these criminals have been asking for large sums of money. I remember they asked Garmin to pay $10 million, and unfortunately, Garmin had to pay that money. I mean, they weren't that desperate. They couldn't do anything about it. And that's the problem with ransomware. Once they infect your systems, they steal your files, and then they start demanding large sums of money. Even if you answer to their demands, you don't know if they're going to hold their end of the bargain. They might say, pay this amount of money, and we're going to return the files to you, and we will not leak the files on the internet. But maybe they do, even after you pay the money. Maybe they will keep blackmailing you for all that money. Who knows? Anyway, the situation is really bad. We're talking millions of dollars. Big companies like Canon, Garmin, CD Projekt Red. Yeah, I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077. They got hacked. Lots of companies are getting hacked. And today, I decided to make a video. I mean, that's it. I thought, you know what? We got to talk about this, guys. I read that Acer was reportedly hit with a ransomware attack. And the attackers, the criminals, they're demanding $50 million from Acer. They want Acer to cough up $50 million. Anyway, the point is, guys, it just keeps getting worse. I've been reading articles that say that the good guys are getting tired. It does not look good. Ransomware attacks have been growing exponentially in the past few years. And with the COVID situation, it just keeps getting worse. And if you noticed, Microsoft Exchange servers were recently attacked as well. All of that adds up. And I think that's how Acer got hacked, because they did not patch up their Microsoft Exchange servers immediately, Microsoft released emergency patches, and Microsoft said that a state-sponsored actor was behind this attack. I mean, if Microsoft, we're talking Microsoft, if Microsoft got hacked, this is pretty bad. Even though that was not a ransomware incident, but the criminals took advantage of that exploit and started spreading malware and started spreading ransomware. And these things started infecting computers. So for those poor companies that did not patch up their systems immediately, maybe Acer was one of them, well, they got infected. The reason I'm making this video is to, number one, spread awareness about ransomware and how serious it is. And number two, implore you to be more careful. Attackers are not just targeting large corporations. I mean, if you think about it from their perspective, ransomware is lucrative business. They just want to extort as much money as they can from these large corporations. It's all about business. They want to make money. But they might as well make money from smaller companies, maybe even individuals. The point is, you have to be careful. You can't be too careful when it comes to security. So I guess that's about it, guys. If you follow the tips that I told you here, by the way, I'm by no means a cybersecurity expert. I'm just telling you common sense stuff and stuff that is going to work, hopefully. Thank you guys for listening. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.